Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. How are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. It is already Thursday. This week is flying by. It feels like the week just started. But we got one more trading day before the end of the week. How are you doing, Coach Paul?
Steady. Um, Stayed out of trouble. Made a
There you
little
go.
couple shekels, but stayed out of trouble. And didn't see much opportunity, but I'm really beginning to like cousin Rusty.
the Russell. The Russell. Uh, Let us know how you did in the chat. Welcome to At the Buzzer. This is our market recap. The goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 40 years. I'm here to share some experiences, some wisdom, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Let us know how you did today. Are you up on the day, down in the day? Anything that you learned from the day? Any markets that you heard us talk about on At the Buzzer that you took a chance in trading today? We're going to get into those for sure. But we appreciate you all joining each and every day that you do. Let's take a look at the news really quick. We did have some numbers that came out this morning. Initial jobless claims came in at 191,000. Forecast was 220,000. Continued jobless claims came in at 1.939 million. Forecast was 1.9626 million. So those numbers look good for the labor market. Less than what was expected. We did have that Challenger layoffs number come in at 71,000 as well. I think that's government employees, but I could be mistaken there. U.S. factory orders month over month came in at 0.2%. Forecast was 0.3%. And that was about it. Anything you got on the news, Coach Paul?
I have nothing to add to that. It was a pretty slow day, news day, and it reflected it. So nothing that that stood out to me.
Awesome. What did stick out was now the second day in a row where we're hearing news from one of the big tech firms, Meta in this case, cutting 30% of their metaverse budget. That was the pre-market news of the day. It's like the soup of the day in the cafeteria. Which tech firm is going to release some news before the open?
What am I going to do with my Meta glasses?
I don't know. Save them, sell them to a museum one day.
There you go.
Or a garage sale. It really depends on how the next couple of years go. Let's take a look then at some of the charts. What just happened here? Where's my quote board? Come on. Where'd you go? There it is. All right. There are 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts, and today to the downside, we had the Ultra Bonds down 0.58%. The Swiss franc down 0.59%. If anyone was watching Slow Markets last night, I was talking about selling the Swiss franc. I did not know it was going to end up being one of the biggest percentage movers of the day, and I also did not take that trade. So does it count if you didn't trade it? And then we had silver down 1.87% on the day for our biggest percentage mover to the downside. Something's missing from this list. Oh, no, it's not. It's there. To the upside, we had crude oil up 1.36%, the Nikkei up 1.47%, and natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 1.54% on the day. To talk about our big five, crude oil up 1.36%, the S&P pretty much flat, up 0.07%, gold up 0.14%. We already talked about natural gas up 1.54%, and the NASDAQ pretty much flat as well, down 0.09% on the day. These markets took a real roundabout way to get to flat on the day, but I got to give an honorable mention, and we'll go over the charts to the Russell, up 0.84% on the day, one of the cleaner trades that we saw today and maybe even this week. But let's take a look, Coach Paul. I think should we do a 4 up?
Yeah, let's do 4 up.
Let's do a 4 up here. I'm going to clean off these charts. We're going to put up all 4 equity markets on the screen here. Let's get, why did I just freeze there? There you go. 4. We're going to put the NASDAQ on the top left. We're going to go with the S&P on the top right. We're going to go Russell on the bottom left. And we're going to go with the Dow on the bottom right. What are we seeing here, Coach Paul?
Well, let's look at the S&P first.
Top right here?
Yeah, top right. And you couldn't think, I can't think of a more unchanged profile.
Right.
We went flat overnight. They had to fake out early, come back to the white line, and finish back unchanged. I mean, there was some opportunity in there, but if you were over leveraged in some of these quick moves that we had on the downside, it's hard to survive.
Yes, it is.
But the 200, once again, and all of these were above it. We tested it in the NASDAQ, the S&P. Cousin Rusty is too good for that lately. But I'm still pretty solid upside potential. But wow. That has the picture of December to me.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
It's the end of the year, and the money managers, hedge fund money managers, are not going to take too much risk. They get paid.
Right.
Quarterly, depending on their deal, maybe the end of the year, but you don't want to take too much risk at the end of the year and blow your bonus. So they pare down, or they don't trade, or they cut back their size. So we can see in the volatility is just slowly deteriorating. So in December, traditionally, they're going to remove a lot of volatility. In other words, they won't trade unless they have to. And is there any reason to get aggressive at any of this stuff in the equities?
No, not necessarily. Especially equities that are up on the year, right? If we zoom out, we're not far from all-time highs. Do we get a Santa rally to push us in there? But you never know, right? There's still some decisions that need to be made. Some inflation data still coming out. Fed rate decision next week. So yeah, maybe not putting on a bunch of risk towards the end of the year here. And we're in rollover, and we just came out of a holiday week. Yeah, go ahead, Coach Paul.
You know what else? Today's action looked exactly like yesterday's in the NASDAQ and in the S&P, and in Rusty.
Yeah, the Dow is the only one that couldn't figure out what it wanted to do today, really. But the S&P and the NASDAQ, like you said, you know what? Let's just rinse and repeat what we did yesterday. Almost the exact same chart. When we were doing the opening call this morning, actually, Hogan and I were talking about, we were trading the exact same prices that we're talking about yesterday's opening call. What does that mean? These are markets that are in balance. We can see it on a daily. Kind of channeling higher in the NASDAQ, somewhat channeling higher in the S&P, but again, a lot of overlap on these daily candles. And that goes back to Coach Paul's point that there might not be a ton of allocation or directional trading going on right now. Even on a full week that we've had, every day this week in all of the equity markets have been below the daily volume moving average. Not a lot of trading going on. So now how does that help us as day traders?
Good question.
Yeah. How can we use that information? Maybe I'm not looking for breakout trades, right? Maybe my job right now, if I'm trading the equities, is to identify, especially the Nasdaq and the S&P today, identify extremes of the range, operate near those extremes. What is that white line on the Nasdaq chart, on the S&P chart, right? We just pointed it out. Coach Paul pointed that out, and we started above it, but decent spot to assume some risk here if the market is going to stay range bound, right? Decent spot here. That's late in the day. That's not until 2 p.m. Eastern time that we're trading it. But the upper extreme of the range, and like we were talking about earlier this morning during the opening call, I want to point out that that news candle, and I'm going to go down to a shorter time frame chart, and we're just going to focus on the Nasdaq really quick here. But we talked about this yesterday, right? It's almost a mirror of what happened. We had a news spike. And one of the things that I like to look at is, okay, who's in control on this news spike? Obviously, the answer is sellers. Is what they're doing sustainable? Before the market opens, this 30-minute candle, we have 45,000 contracts traded in a 30-minute candle. And this is still technically pre-market, right? If we just go back and look at 9 a.m. Eastern time on a normal trading day, that number is closer to like 9,000. Right. So 45,000 contracts trade in that first half an hour. Is that sustainable? Again, that's a reaction to a headline. When the true volume comes in for the session, what happens? That volume never leaves the range to the downside. Price action never left to the range to the downside. And we just recover that entire move. So this morning, we had something similar. 16,000 contracts traded in this 30-minute candle. And when Hogan and I were doing the opening call, we said, hey, you know what? This did look like it was going to break out of the range, Coach Paul, and it looked like maybe it was good enough news. Meta was up 6%. But then the question is not only, okay, buyers are buying it, is this sustainable? To me, what tells me whether or not that's sustainable is VWAP. Price never traded above that high of the news candle, and neither did volume. So it's a knee-jerk reaction. But then again, when the real trading happens, what happens? No one willing to buy it, and we come right back down into the range. And I think, to me, that's just the way to look at some of these news candles. Great. It caused, some people to get shaken out of a position, but is it a sustainable move? Really is not. And we go back to business as usual, which we had this range-bound market. Anything else you want to add on the equities?
Yeah, that pre-market news candle has the big price movement, but
Yep.
low volume.
Today it did.
So if we just go into and get rid of the overnight session, just go regular trading hours, we don't even see that. And I'm
Right.
still convinced it's the real volume that
Yep.
happens when New York opens.
Yeah.
So today, if we do that 3-minute candle in NASDAQ,
There you go.
what is that called?
That is what we call urgency. We have the 3-minute opening range, and this was a huge opening range in the Nasdaq. This is about 75 points, 74 points. But even then, volume leaves that range to the downside. We never truly got price acceptance back inside that range. So if you were a range trader, you could have, had a really nice day trading the Nasdaq today, allowing the extremes of the range to work, right? What was the lower extreme? Back to the 30-minute chart. Extended trading hours. That lower extreme, 200 moving average on the downside. And we were talking about this, Coach Paul. Do you trade it as a defined level, or is it a zone? It's up to you as a trader. But we come down in this general area of that 200 moving average, and the flow did stop to the downside. So let me put this back on regular trading hours here. I mean, 25,500, big fat round number down there. That is a nice range. That is a nice range to trade. Sometimes the Nasdaq can get in, especially in the middle of the day, get into these like 20-point ranges where it's difficult to do anything. But if you were patient, there are a couple of 100-point swings throughout the day that you could have taken advantage of, and maybe you don't catch the full 100 points, but there was some opportunity in it.
Yeah, well, and the biggest thing is the staying out of over trading. This is like over trading in this environment.
Yeah,
It's it'll grind you up hard. There's no escaping it. So my advice is stick to one setup. Take your risk, 2 ATRs or one ATR, and don't and really cut back on your daily loss limit. Uh, no sense in grinding up capital
yep,
in a market that's just has small range. I mean, what was the range today? 93 um, in the S&P, which was average. 426, excuse me, 44 and a half. Half the range today
yeah,
of the average true range. NASDAQ, 245, about half the range. So it's grinding capital on a day on days like this, to me, just haunts you.
yeah,
So earlier in the show, we're talking about, how do you adjust? Well, I would say not only cut back your size, cut back your risk parameters. Like to me, instead of looking for 2 to 1, 1 to 1,
right,
be happy with it because the ranges are smaller
yep.
and it has a potential being in December of continuing. So
Yes, it does. I want to comment on something here from Infinite Fracture says, I don't like trading streams. My comment initially was don't watch them. But if you want to watch them, and I'm saying this as somebody on Top Step TV, I'm asking what you didn't like about it and or don't like about them. You said, Dakota rushing absurd trades. And I want to say that is an opinion about somebody's trading style. What you're going to get, especially from Top Step TV, you're going to get a bunch of different trading styles. And I think that's why personally I like the show, because if there's a trader that I resonate with and I see them on the show, then I can trade with them. In the same sense, is if there's a trader that you don't resonate with, you can take information from that as well. Honestly, I think it depends on the perspective I choose to watch something from. A lot of people sometimes think you can't learn something from somebody you disagree with, and I actually think that's the furthest thing from the truth. I probably learn the most from people that I don't agree with. Right? If somebody is just validating my thoughts, I can't ever question what I'm seeing. Um, but if I see something that's different from me, and what's important to understand here is that I have to be confident in what I'm seeing, right? And I get that, right? When we first started doing Top Step TV and I'm trading with Dakota every day, he's number one on the leaderboard. And there is a little bit of a doubt that comes in. Hey, am I actually seeing something correct here? But what you have to understand through trading, whether you're, watching a live stream in a Discord channel, you're talking to your best friend about trading, the only thing that truly matters is your vision of the markets at the end of the day, right? And having confidence in executing your plan.
well, yeah, it's a good point. You have to trade who you are.
Yeah. Also, the
Like
stream is on a delay, so don't ever follow anyone's trades. 15 seconds delayed. By the time I'm getting out, you might be getting in. Go ahead, Coach Paul.
well, there you go. I mean, it is delayed. Um, you have to trade your style. You can learn, like you said, you can learn. Being objective. You can absorb something. Go, I never thought of that. And that's how you learn.
Right.
If you really don't like someone and it irritates you, why you watching? I don't. That's one thing. Maybe it's my age. a lot of people get irritated on social media and going back and forth with, why are you absorbing that energy? Move on.
Right.
I mean,
But
it's
before you
all
leave,
flex.
hit the thumbs up button.
Yeah, at least do that. There's no need to. I mean, why absorb that energy? Um, Personally, I don't. If I don't, there's certain shows, whatever. I mean, even just trading shows that my girlfriend watches. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just gonna go somewhere else. I'm not gonna just sit there and go uh, and badmouth it. There
Right.
was another TV.
Right.
So why I even bring that up is that can also affect your trading decisions, because in your subconscious, what are you doing? You're creating negative energy in your subconscious, and be careful. That can come out on your trading decisions.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Be confident in what you're seeing. I can watch Top Step TV every day. I do watch it every day. Uh, I watch it every day, and I don't get influenced by what anyone's saying there. It's like, hey, sometimes when they agree with my trading idea, cool. If not, uh, but I know what I'm looking for at the end of the day, right? I was watching Top Step TV today, seeing the guys trade the Nasdaq, and I was trading the Russell, and you know, I could still watch and be impartial to what is being said there. But make sure you're confident in what it is that you're looking at from the markets. All right, that's what we got on the equities. The Russell was just a trend up move all day. I want to bring this chart up really quick. We talked about clean price action in the Dow and the Russell. The Dow was not clean today at all, but the Russell was. Uh, the Russell definitely was different here. Taking a look, I'm going to do Coach Paul's volume profile look here. Overnight, actually, we'll just leave it like that. No, let's change that. Let's go overnight only. Overnight volume profile from yesterday. And then we'll do the same thing today. Fixed range volume profile from the overnight session. And initially, the market was kind of indecisive about where it was going to go. But once we started to get price acceptance outside of that overnight range, above the opening range, above that point of control, this was just a one directional market. I think we had some numbers out after the first half an hour. But either way, right, what did we have to start? We had kind of a range bound market, right? We had price leaving the opening range to the downside, volume staying pretty much flat for the New York session, which tells us that this move down here is hollow, right? There aren't really any sellers in it. Once we get back above that overnight point of control, we come back and use it as a support. Uh, you know, Coach Paul, we were talking. It's just like, hey, this has the potential to trend, and the Russell does that, right? We've seen the Russell consistently be one of the top percentage movers in the equities, and it's because it has days like this. Not a lot of overlap. These pullbacks on the way up, I measured them with a one lot mini. If you got in at the high here and got low ticked here, that's a $330 move. That a similar move in the Nasdaq was about $2,500 today. Trading minis. Is the Russell going to be this clean every day? It's not. But when it is, it can be a very friendly market to trade. And then you have the option to trade the micros as well, which, again, this is a $30 pullback. Coach Paul, anything you want to say about the Russell? I know you and I were both in this trade. And I'll let you guys know, like I said, I did pass a combine today trading the Russell. I didn't get in this move until about right here. So I was quote unquote late to this move.
well, it is late, or you're getting into I'll call flow.
Right.
Now, if we look from at a half-hour chart, all right, that opening range, that opening half an hour, all right, we had selling, all right, it turned into a J trade.
It did.
And that's why I remember you were in, like, and I said, "Hey, this is turning into a J trade."
Yeah.
We both just went, "Okay, buy it."
Yep.
Still, I was willing to take the risk to new lows. I think it was like $200 on a micro.
Right.
Um, but that patience, that was good information because we've seen this for almost all of December with Russell.
Yes, we have.
And one thing I like about the Russell, it doesn't have a lot of retail trading.
Mm,
It just doesn't, versus the S&P or the Nasdaq.
right.
Um, and it just it grinded. You could almost smell the algorithm. It's like
Yeah.
it just was relentless. Whether you put it on a 5 minute, a 10 minute, um, it it was relentless until we broke in the half hour. We broke the previous half hour's low,
Yep. That broke the trend. Yeah.
and that
This
was it.
was 7 30-minute candles to the upside. We did get one that kind of looked below the last one, but could not sustain. Could not sustain at all.
So yeah, it was a nice trade. It was a clean trade, nice trade, or it was a clean trade. And like I said, it's been trending very well. It just hasn't been playing around. But that when we broke that high, it had the high probability of being a J trade from the opening. Um, and that was the big selling. It was the highest volume of the day. I wonder if that first part was just short covering. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe so. We got a question here. Uh, where did it go? Market Trend ES says, "Is the Russell clean from actual rotation into small caps?"
It could be. It seems to be. I don't know if it's the end of the year, a tax play. I don't know, but we've
Mm,
been seeing this all of December.
yeah.
So it seems to be two. One of the themes I think is safety.
Mm,
Um, it doesn't have the volatility that Nasdaq has, so bigger players are not going to. They're not going to take big risks trading Nasdaq. Russell could be the place to allocate.
it was
Uh,
today. It was today. Could very well be
so
easily, very easily be the place to short tomorrow. Because we do know the Russell likes to be very unchanged. We've been here before. Uh, these are all-time highs going back to 2021. We're pretty close to it. Just under 2% off the all-time high right now, and pretty close to highs of the year. But the Russell is the Russell, so it could just fall right back into the range. What I do
no.
know though is even if it falls back into the range, it still presents some good opportunity and clean movement.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right.
all right, that is what we got on the Russell. Let's move over to the metals. Taking a look at the metals, gold on a daily. What can we say that we haven't said already?
How many more days do we have to be in this range?
Let's
We
see.
don't have to be. But
We're at 44 days, 32 trading days, 44 calendar days. The last time was September 2nd, right?
yeah.
132 calendar days, 94 trading days. So we're about a third of the way there. If they're gonna run the same play again, about a third of the way there.
Yeah, and it's also seems to be having a December blues as
Yep.
far as volatility. I mean, look at the ATR, the white line on the bottom. It's melting away, and we can see it in that half hour. And the volume. And the volumes are. Look at the average volume. It's collapsing, and we're
Yeah, it is.
well into the five. But the roll is over. Um, so to me, limited opportunity in gold
Yep.
compared to the 2 months ago.
Yeah. Absolutely. Pretty tight range here. Also, I got to give a shout out to Bink in the chat. Bink, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this real quick. Bink was the first comment in the chat today and says, "Can't wait to review the J trade off of whatever that white line is in the MNQ." So, Bink, this is for you. We'll go over it real quick. What is that white line? The 200 moving average. Uh, we we did have this is what Bink is talking about here. This high volume later in the day. Shout out to Kevin as well. I know you were looking at this in the S&P. We closed above that really nice trade, 100-point move from that point. There you go. All right, let's get back to gold. 30-minute chart here on gold, Coach Paul. What is that white line?
The line of demarcation.
Yes, it is.
And still, look at that. I mean, it's not, nothing is easy in gold anymore. It's back to
Yeah,
what it used to be.
right.
They can, like we talked, they can be this way for a long time.
Yes, it
Um,
can.
I just look at that and I see chop. I haven't been trading it because it has that flavor to it. It's not respecting the 200. It's not respecting volume. It's, I don't know. For me, that's hard to trade. Now I would ask who's trading gold and killing it.
So Dakota and I had a pretty nice short last night during slow markets.
All
Would I
right.
say
Well,
killing it? I don't know if I would say killing it, but the idea was, and we talked about this yesterday, this 200 moving average. We're starting to spend over the past couple of days, spend a little time under it, right? It was about 7 days or so where we were just in an uptrend. And if we look at the higher time frame, this is a market that has really high potential to just fall right back into this range after tagging this 50%, right? So seeing the market now spending more time under that 200 moving average, and then in this case, last night, trading some volume under that 200 moving average, right? We see VWAP crossing below that line. Initially, it traded above, but this wasn't any kind of urgency or anything like that. That wasn't convincing volume. You got to do more than that for me to want to buy it. And once volume got back below the 200 moving average, this is looking for some opportunities to short. I think I got in short from 42.31. Really, I wanted to short it against VWAP. How close can I get my entries to VWAP? But in this case, it just kind of fell apart last night. Turned out to be a decent trade. Stop was went kind of wide risk on this, so I think it turned out to be a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1. But a decent trade, just using that VWAP against the 200 moving average, kind of failing below it, and yeah, that was it from there.
Something that volume wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
Well, what time does Shanghai open up again?
great question. 8 p.m. Eastern time with the daylight savings time. So let's do that. Completely
little different there.
It didn't even try. It opened up and just traded. That's kind of urgency from Shanghai.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
And why is it that with the Shanghai Gold Futures Exchange is number 2 in gold futures, and it's gaining momentum. So to me, that there's volume. It's trading there. It means something.
Yep.
So, and to me, and we see it how many times? We see it a lot.
Yes, we do. Oh, we are on standard time. You're correct. Thank you. Whenever the time changes, weren't we supposed to get rid of that years ago?
Well, I keep hearing that. Something. What did it? It was Arizona that.
Yeah.
Go true.
They didn't change. Arizona didn't change. But Sunkiss Yogi, you're correct. We are on standard time.
Yes.
Daylight savings is more volume in a very similar spot that we saw volume a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Half an hour J trade up here. It's a tough market to trade right now, but identify the extremes, trade the extremes. Let's move over to silver.
That was a different story.
Completely different story. What are you seeing here in silver?
That don't trade it until Shanghai opens up.
Let's move this over here.
Different story.
Failed
Wow.
buying.
Well, let's look at the daily quickly.
Man, I wanted to short this last night too.
All right. Now, yes, we taught it's slowed down at all-time highs. Be a healthy break here. What's the 20-day moving average?
53,
Yeah,
345. A little extended, right?
yeah, it's a little extended. At all-time highs.
Right.
Now, that's seems to me that we get some liquidation, profit taking.
Yep. Right below
Um,
$60.
yeah, but pretty vicious move.
Yep. VWAP George is my bartender is a trader, so I'm off to talk shop. George, go enjoy, man. Enjoy, be safe out there. Yeah, this is the first time we took out a prior day's low since this run kind of started here. So maybe a little bit of a structure shift in silver on a shorter time frame. But I think it can be defined as a healthy pullback from maybe some profit taking after a market made new all-time highs. So I'm not ready to say that the trend is over. What I am looking at is this high volume candle at the highs here. If we start to get candle closes, you see where we stopped today, right at that low. If we start to see
Yeah,
candle closes below that, then that's a different story. But it held for now. Whoever's buying in here is maybe still a market presence. As long as they continue to hold this low down at 56,850, this market's still technically in an uptrend. Is this breakout sustainable? Gold isn't helping. It's a great question. That's a great question.
well, it's silver it came late to the party.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna, you have to trade silver as its own flow.
yeah,
It can get dangerous. Like for a year, I thought platinum was going to rip higher
mm,
because gold was going higher. They're two different
right.
markets.
Yeah, yep. Two
So
different markets.
be careful on, and it's not helping in the fact that it's slowing down,
Yeah.
but still, like we talked, the 3 days, is that a 3-bar reversal?
Yeah. Technically, it is.
So it had we talked about that yesterday. It had the possibility. It's slowing down at the all-time highs. It's not following through.
Yep.
It have a healthy correction. As a trend trader, this is still on a very healthy trend. Doesn't mean okay. It doesn't mean that it's not going to have violent retracements.
Yeah. And violent for sure in silver. Uh, Violent for sure. But again, as long as it holds this high, I wouldn't even be surprised at a test of
The hell
the
that could
prior
happen
all-time high. That could
this
happen.
evening.
Right.
Yeah.
It's what is that, a 4% move? Hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But we know what we do as traders, right? Trade the market that's in front of you that day. And if you only want to go buy side in silver, wait for it to give you an opportunity to buy it. This 200 moving average. So what I would be looking at if I was trading silver tonight, couple things here. This highest volume 30-minute candle from the day. I believe that's the candle that kind of pulled VWAP under the 200 moving average. Yep. So I'm going to frame out this candle, 58,200 at the high, 57,160 at the low, and watch the market's response to this range here. That 200 moving average on the 30-minute is up near the upper extreme of this range. So we are going to have to convince some buyers up here. And then if not, we know the lows of where all this volume came in because, I mean, look under this, right? If this breaks, there's room lower. So
Yeah.
I don't think you have to try to be the first one to trade this. It'll tell you where it wants to go.
Yeah. And that's pulling away from the 200 because look at the 200. It's moving up while the market is sliding. That's convergence. That that just get little short term. That's very negative. Now you mentioned is that the closing because silver closes at what at 12:25
Yeah, this is
Central
not
Time.
that's not the close there. This is 9:30. This is the equity open candle, basically.
All right, that was pretty good volume.
Yeah, it was.
And that
Yeah, it was.
um and that was under the 200. Seems like someone said, "All right, that's a profit taking sell." That wasn't some stops. That was most likely an entity said, "Get out."
Yep.
So I like the way you framed that out with that candle.
Awesome. Chat, I love you guys, man. Uh Wale says, I need a fresh haircut. I just saw my barber not too long ago. It just grows. It's winter time also. So we did cover the Russell, Jack. We can go over it again. Um, it's winter time. I'm embracing the winter look, and I'll get a cut sometime soon. All right,
So
let's take a
will
look.
I. If you get yours cut, I'll get mine.
Let's take a look at crude oil. It left the black box.
It did. For
Tag
how long?
$60. Let's see.
Probably a sell.
Right, I mean, against $60, it was. Against $60, it was. Let me remove this so we can actually see what the hell happened today. On the daily.
Keep it on.
All right. Well, let's just go to natural gas. Let's just go to natural gas. Crude oil tagged $60 today. It hasn't done that in a long time. So it might be changing. Jessica, we appreciate you. We appreciate you all being here. All right, natural gas. This one stopped
Speaking
me
of
out of a
white
short.
men.
Yeah, this one stopped me out on a short last night. I was looking for it, and I preempted it. Yes, chat.
The
I'm not perfect.
preemption.
I'm not perfect.
For all us traders who preempt, save them in a file,
Yep.
then add them up. See if they're helping you or hindering you.
Yeah.
I know it's a big hindrance.
It really is. It really is.
Because that is pure prediction.
It
But
is
interesting. Where did you sell it last night?
pretty much right on the open. Right on the open. I was short, and then I got short again during slow markets, and I said, you know what? If it trades above $5, it was not a good trade. It was not a good it was not a good trade. It didn't cost me a whole lot, but it was not. It cost me like $200, but it was not a good trade. And honestly, I think part of seeing the urgency yesterday had me hoping, and this is where, as a trader, that hope word could be a death sentence. I was hoping we got this again because I'm like, damn it, I missed it today. I'm gonna catch it today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch it tonight, and it didn't do it. So I was looking for something that the market is not willing to present, and when you do that, hopefully you manage your risk because it's gonna cost you some money most often than not. Go ahead, Coach Wall.
Hope is a 4-letter word,
Yes, it is.
and it rhymes with dope. So I had to do that. I used to go, oh God, I hope this turns around. And I found myself saying that. I'm like, every time you start saying hope 2 or 3 times, what is it? I'm in a losing trade.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Instead of
I hope
actually
first
framing out the risk, I'm just it's really really gambling.
Yeah. First, it's I hope this is a winner, and then it's I hope this doesn't hit my stop loss, and then it's I hope this comes back to break even. And then when it comes back to break even, you got your final wish, but now it's back to break even, so it's a good trade. I got to keep it on, and then it goes immediately to your stop out.
And then further.
Right, right, and I added one too, so now it's even more risk. Has anyone ever done that before? How can I say this so accurately? It's because I've done it time and time again. But yeah, that's why we have to manage risk, right? Sometimes your favorite quarterback is going to think they have a receiver open, they throw a pass, and it gets picked off, right? Ideally, we get to be perfect, but that's not reality, right? So in any trade, even if I have real conviction in it, I got to manage my risk, right? If I shorted natural gas yesterday and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to pass this combine on this one trade here. So I'm going to take 10 minis instead of the 7 micros I was short, blown account. And we're talking about something different, right? So manage your risk and try not to hope in trading, at least. Could have hope other places. Anything else you want to say on this natural gas chart
Oh,
here?
look where Coach Who pointed out the market flipped on it
The number
on the report. So what time was that? Did it hit the 200
on that report.
on that
Uh,
report?
I
So,
marked it out here. That report came out at 10:30. They cannot keep getting away with this, guys. Chat. They can't keep getting away with this.
or I can't continue to miss that.
Right. That too.
I was busy with other things. I can't
I mean,
trade
the Russell
36.
was rallying.
Yeah. But classic. And if we frame that out, attach a VWAP. This is the report. This comes out once a week. It's a big report.
Yeah.
It's actually a little more sensitive than the Crude report that comes out on Wednesday. This one has a little more meaning
Yeah.
from my experience.
Okay.
So there we go. We get the report. Where is it? Was it bullish or bearish?
In this case, the response was bullish. Immediate knee-jerk
It
reaction to the downside.
could have been bearish.
Right. Right. But
Or I would say it's new. Whatever it is, we're technicians. And that technician, I like the 200 moving average. If I was in the natural gas and I saw that, we also get what? A J trade.
right off the 200 moving average. Man, what the hell were we looking at? Uh, we were trading the Russell, but man, what a move. Coach Hoop said he caught it. Nice trade. High volume reversal. This is a J trade. And if you're a new viewer, what that is a high volume, usually at the low or high of the day. How do we know it's the low or the high of the day? We got to wait. This confirmation, this close above this range here, man, especially off that 200 moving average. Let's go with 2 ATRs of risk, 34 ticks. Let me take this magnet off of here. 34 ticks. You almost got a 2-to-1 before the pullback, and then the pullback gave you another opportunity to do it again. Damn, what a trade. What a trade. And we talked about this one during the opening call too, saying that it had the potential to test the 200 moving average. Like you said, Coach Paul, you can't trade all 36, right?
No.
Yeah.
But here's the theme. I look at markets like plumbing. You have buyers and sellers, you have equilibrium, liquidity. That right there, that's a shut off valve, and it turns the other way. Boy, and why that 200? Look, if we go back to the half hour. What is the 200 is trending higher. And this is the first time we've tested it since in about a week. Yeah. Wow.
Yep. Perfect test of it. And really nice bounce from there. That's it's almost a 5%, 4.5%, 4.25% move off of that. Coach Hoop, great trade, man. Great trade. And anybody else who caught that. Anyone else catch this natural gas move? We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. We've added it to the opening call analysis as well. Just real quick analysis on it. What we said earlier this morning was, hey, it has the potential to go trade to that 200 moving average. Again, anything we provide here is for educational and information purposes only, not a suggestion to take a trade. But hopefully what we're doing here is helping you identify where opportunities are. Because we look at almost everything, right? And especially if it's consistently moving every day, that means there's money there. Would that be a failed downside auction? Usually a single print at the lows. Hogue explained something similar this morning. Is this a failed downside auction in natural gas? So natural gas opens the same time as crude, right?
It's single prints.
Yeah. So here would be the initial balance. Yeah, that's a failed downside auction. If that's your initial balance here, first hour of trade, we look below it. Yep, that is what that is. Ethan says I'm going to wait till next year to trade natural gas, but wow, yeah. I mean, even if you know, if you're brand new to this market, there's micros. MNG is the ticker, and practice accounts. Micros and practice accounts if you're trying anything new. So you can understand the pace and learn it. But right now it is a market that is having its moment, right? Is it going to be like this all year next year? I think we saw it through January or February of last year. And then we stopped talking about it because our job as traders is to identify opportunity and see how we can take advantage of those opportunities. It stopped being consistently in the biggest percentage mover. So I'm not going to trade natural gas if it's in a tight range. But when it starts to move, it's a great trade. Anything else you want to add there, Coach Paul?
Oh, nothing else on natural gas. Let's look at, you said there was a big move in Swiss franc.
Yeah, there was. I don't know how big it. Oh my God.
Okay, then next. Next. There was urgency there.
Yes, there was. And I went and shorted natural gas.
Well, were you looking at the Swiss? I was.
I did. Yeah, I brought it up during
Shame on you.
during slow
We'll do
markets.
some push-ups and come back.
You know what? I actually put the order in. I put the order in and it didn't fill, and then I got short gold.
Was the market button not working?
It was. It was. But yeah, this is why so we talked about this yesterday, and scanning for urgency. I don't care what market it is, to be honest, guys. I just want this move wherever it's going to present itself. And in this case, we had urgency in the Swiss franc. And I think by the time I looked at it, it was kind of down. Let's see, slow markets time. So it was down here. So I was looking for a pull up to VWAP, get your entries as close as possible to volume. But a one lot was not going to be a ton of risk. And this is probably just a trade I need to put on. And it would have initially, I think, gave me a 2-to-1. And then just like natural gas came back and gave you another opportunity. What a trade. This market kind of just fell apart today. It's a nice move.
It gave you, and look at that. So I just have to go. It's Swiss franc, but we go through this in how many different markets?
All of them.
But the DNA of that stands out.
Yep.
That opening, we had selling right away. Slope of the VWAP. Then we come back. How many times can we go to the bottom of that opening range?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 times. To me, it seems like the SNB, Swiss National Bank, has got an offer there and defying anyone to get through it.
Right.
And I'm just making that up, but that's not an accident. Wow, what a move!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what a move that was. Anyone catch any of this? Probably not. But honestly, the reason I saw this as a short, we were talking about the currencies yesterday, Japanese yen. I just did a quick scan, right? After the first half an hour or first hour, just pull up a market, look at the percentage movers and see what's moving right now. And the thing is, what makes it a pretty quick scan to do is if it looks like this, next, there's nothing to see here. But when it looks like this, that's potential opportunity. There's no guarantees that this is going to end up this way, but potential. All right. Any other markets you want to take a look at, Coach Paul? We got about 5 minutes. I'm just making sure we got to all the questions, if any, in the chat. Any other questions you got? Any other markets you want to talk about?
Did we get this one? I'm trading Coach J from Ryan
Okay, yeah, let's go over that.
Rahan Hussein.
Let's
Did we go
let's
over
go
that?
over that. We did not. Let's
All right.
cover that
Well,
one.
I am new to trading on TopstepX, and I just become eligible for first ever payout for $500 on a 150K XFA. I feel like requesting for it, but not sure how it may affect my maximum drawdown. I'll leave that
Great,
to you, sir.
great question. All right, so if you're eligible for a $500 payout, that means you probably have and who was this? Rayhan Hossein. If let me know what the balance is in your account if you're okay with that. Because if you're saying you're eligible for $500 and you're taking 50% of the account, that means you have 1,000 in the account. Now, when it comes to payouts, if you have a 150K account, right, the initial drawdown is $4,500, right? Let's say you made 1,000 and you're taking out 50%. What happens with the Topstep account is that the initial drawdown that you're accustomed to trading to, which is that $4,500, now goes to zero because you've taken a payout. So what does that change for your account? You put $500 in your bank account, which is great. That's what we want to do as traders. You want to pay yourself. But now that trailing drawdown, which was initially $4,500, is now the $500 balance you have left in your account, right? So if that's going to change the way you operate in your trading, so you made $1,108. If that's going to change the way you operate in your trading, maybe take that into consideration because now you're going to be trading with a $500 drawdown. But at the same time, if this is your first time you're eligible for a payout and you either want or need to take the money, I would say pay yourself because it makes it real what you're doing here. That is not financial advice. That is just advice. But ideally, where you want to be is you're able to take payouts from your account and not have to change how you trade day to day, right? You've been accustomed to trading with a $4,500 balance. So if you're going to take that payout and then go to trading 3 minis tomorrow, we could probably assume what's going to happen to the account, right? But if you're willing to continue to trade small with that $500 balance, but you are going to have to make some adjustments there. Congrats on getting to the point where you're even eligible to do so and have that conversation, because that's where we all want to be. But you got to make an account management decision from there. All right, Coach Paul, anything you want to add to that?
You nailed it.
Yep.
It's a great question, and it's a tough decision.
Yep. Yeah. What I will say is, let's say you get close to clearing that initial drawdown or you're above it. One of the things I've seen, and I would suggest this to anybody, I've seen traders say, I'm not taking a payout until I make $10,000 in the account. They get to $8,500 and they say, I need to get to 10,000, but now they're eligible to trade 15 minis. And now they're like, 10,000 is not even a figment of their imagination anymore. 100,000 is for some reason. It's like, how the hell did you just 10x your goal? And then the account is gone. So don't do that, right? If you clear that initial drawdown and you have some balance, pay yourself something. Pay yourself something. Something. It doesn't have to be 50%. Pay yourself something, right? Too many times, and Coach Ray and I did a class with some traders, and we asked this question to probably 400 or 500 people, and I would say 90% of them said that they had a profit goal to get to in their XFA before they took a payout, were eligible for a payout, and then ended up with zero and has still never taken a payout from Topstep. So make sure you pay yourself something when your account is eligible for it. Maybe just not super early on where you're not, I don't want you to go back to buying 6 more accounts because you drew down half of that account from a payout. So there's a balance. All right. Great question though. Great question.
What other questions do we have?
Maui Man says, thank you for all the information. Just know your guys' time is not wasted. I appreciate that. I mean, I say it all the time, and I think and it's not just because I'm here talking to you all. I think we give out some of the best information in futures trading. Maybe I'm biased, but it's okay to be biased sometimes. Uh,
I'm not biased, and I think you're right.
it's okay to be biased at times, and we appreciate you all being here. We appreciate the questions that you guys ask. Again, we can't do these shows without you. So hopefully, the information that we're providing is helping you with your trading journey in some way. Um, all we can do here is provide information. We can't click a button for you. And I don't want anybody to trade like me. I don't want anybody to trade like Coach Paul. I want you to have an understanding of the markets for yourself and then be able to make decisions whether a Coach Paul or I or here or not to talk about it, right? And then review what you do day in and day out. There's patterns in everything that we do. And there's a lot to learn from those patterns. And it's free. Costs you your time and your attention. You're right, Faye. Coach Paul, anything else you got to say before we go?
Tomorrow's Friday. Really much more of the same in the equities market. Just be prepared. Don't overtrade. Plan your trade your plan, and take what the market gives you. And we'll talk again tomorrow.
Awesome stuff. We have Coach Robert doing a class in Discord right now. Coach Hoop at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Coach Rain, Coach Vince, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Eastern Time. Coach Dakota with Slow Markets tonight, 8:30. Baron is going to be joining him. And then we have Aaron with the London Open tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Friday, so D will not be doing the Euro trade. And then we'll be back for the opening call, 8:15 Eastern Time, 7:15 Central. We appreciate you all being here. Trade well, manage your risk, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.